guys, here with you on for another morning tea or coffee time. I have coffee again. That's just my thing this semester. And our topic for this week is confession. Of course, I have an anecdote to go along with this. So settle in with your beverage, and I'll try to keep this as speedy as possible. But confession, is one of those sacraments that I have more of a hot and cold relationship with. I think this is very common. There's a lot of anxiety with regard to confession. I think there are some people that don't go to confession at all, who are Catholic, because they just don't feel comfortable in it. They don't feel that it's necessary. There could be all kinds of things. And so they don't go. And if I'm being 100% honest, I do believe confession is necessary. However, I understand the desire to try to find a way to not have to go because it's not a comfortable thing. You really make yourself vulnerable when you visit a confessional, and that can be really hard on a person. It can involve all kinds of emotional things depending upon what you need to share with the priest. It can be very hard. I think we've all had experiences like that, and so I very much sympathize and relate. And so I don't go to confession as often as I probably should. I definitely go several times a year. Should I go more? I'm certain that I should. I'm being a little vulnerable right here, I guess. But I do my best. I always go during Lent at some point, and I try to go, during the rest of the year when the thought occurs to me that I need to go. And so it has been since right before Holy Week that I've gone. And I was trying to use my little confession app yesterday because there's confession at one of the parishes near our house at 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoons. Just kind of a strange time. But it's right on my way home from work, and so it fits. I have to leave work a little early to get there, but it's convenient for when I need to go. And the last time that I had tried to go, I got there about 10 after 4, quarter after 4, because it's until, I want to say, almost 5 o'clock. It's a long stretch of time. And there was all these people there. Like, wow, I guess that's good. But I really didn't have time to linger because I had to get home, and Mike was waiting for me. We needed to get dinner for the kids. We had something else going on that evening, so I couldn't stay. And so now I'm reapproaching, and I use my confession app to try to figure out when the last time was that I went. And I don't know if any of you have this app. Write in if you do what your experiences. I've heard good things about it for iOS, but I have it for Android. And every so many, I don't know, times that I use it, every maybe 3 times, I know that I'm putting in my password correctly. And it's telling me that that's not the password because it's password protected. I guess I understand why, although nobody else is going to be getting to that point of my phone. But it doesn't matter, right? It's frustrating because I can't access my account and see when the last time I went to confession was. So that was discouraging me yesterday. I had to then create, a new profile and all that. And so, but then I didn't really know when the last time I knew it was during Lent, and I looked back through my planner, and sure enough, I had a little note to myself to go to confession right before Holy Week. So, okay, so it was about 5 months. So I went through my little examination of conscience. That's why it's password protected, because other people didn't see that. So I get it. But I got that all squared away, and I get to the church. So here's where the anecdote begins. I park, and I go to the side door where I always go, and the door's locked. I thought, this has happened before. I like that parish. That's not our parish, but it's where Henry goes to school because our parish doesn't have a school. And so I have an affinity for it. But, sometimes things like come up and I'm not privy to them because I don't get the bulletin there every week. And so maybe confession was canceled this week. Who knows? So, so the door's locked. I thought, I really need to get to confession. It's been a while. I'm feeling it heavy on my heart, and I really need to go. So I'm going to spend a few extra minutes and try to seek this out. So I figure I'll take a little walk up to the main entrance to the church. So I do that. As I'm walking, I see an older woman crossing the street in front of the church, and I just had a feeling. She could have been going a couple of other, ways down the street, but I just had a feeling. I thought, I think she's going to confession too. Instinct, head feeling. So I get to the front of the church, and sure enough, that's where she was going. And we both try one of the front doors, and they're locked. And she said, "That's strange. It's after 4 o'clock, isn't it?" And it was a few minutes after 4. I had timed it better this week because I wanted to avoid the line. So it's about 5 after 4. I said, "Why don't we go around?" And so she takes me. I went with her. We went to another entrance that I've never used before to the church, and it was locked. And, she's talking. She's just the sweetest lady. And so she's like, "Oh, maybe we can go into the rectory." And I'm thinking, oh, you see, maybe I'll just do a reapproach next week by this point. Because I've tried here. It's been about 5 minutes, and I don't know that I really want to go like talk to anybody in the rectory office. And then she's like, "Oh, somebody's coming." So another woman comes and opens the door. She's like, "Oh, sorry, Father forgot to open the door." And because you can access the church, without having to go from the outside for him. So she let us in, and I just thought to myself, that lady was like a little angel, that had, walked with me around the church. And it just occurred to me that everything that we do, all of the decisions that we make are important. Whether it be somebody else for us, or sometimes probably unknowingly us to another person, small things that happen in the course of your day can be very meaningful and important in terms of, some other things that come as a consequence, a good consequence. And so because she happened to come at that exact moment and was more persistent than I was in trying to get into the church, I was able to get to confession yesterday. And so, we go into the church, and one person had another person come in, so she went into the confessional before me, and so I was waiting. I was feeling happy and good, and went into the confessional when it was my turn. And it was a priest that I had never been to confession with before. Hank had told me he was new to the parish, and very nice, very good confessor. Had a wonderful experience. And so I came out and I was praying afterwards. And by that point, there wasn't a lot of other people in the church. I say a lot, but we're talking relative here because confession isn't exactly the most popular of sacraments. So there was a handful of other people there. And as I got up to leave after I was finished, I turned, and the lady that I had walked with was in line, and she waved to me. And of course, I waved back and gave her a big smile. And she just made me so happy yesterday. It was just the sweetest experience. And it struck me that, everything is important. I'm turning down my volume. It's my phone again. I'm calling her back. Everything that we do is important and has eternal ramifications in a sense, even small things. And so it's important to be thoughtful in our decisions. And so I decided to spend extra time seeking out confession. And then that lady had to come and was so persistent. And it was all good. It was wonderful, and I was so grateful for her. Excuse me. And so I was very glad to get confession in before the Feast of St. Therese, which is, as you're watching this today, Happy Feast of St. Therese. This is actually Wednesday, so I just finished up the novena. And I hope that it was a fruitful novena, and that we all feel the comfort and joy of the intercession of St. Therese. And I'm sure we're going to be doing another novena soon. I will keep you posted. But if you have any, thoughts on confession experiences and, ways that you prepare for confession or motivate yourself to keep up with the regularity of going to confession, write in and let me know. And if you have a novena idea for the coming season, write in and let me know that too. Okay? And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.